Are we ready?
Yes.
Maya? Okay.
I'm here.
In 5. Okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Oh my God, you made it. It's the 7th episode of We Did That Shit.
I'm Maya.
And I'm Bibbi.
Hey.
Hey, Mai.
Hey,
What's
girl.
up? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I know you haven't seen me in forever. That's why.
Yeah, it just seems like I feel like I haven't seen anybody, but especially you.
Right, because I mean you've been sick, so you were sick.
Oh yeah.
That's why you didn't see me.
I forgot. I was laid up.
You forgot you were sick?
I forgot that's why I wasn't coming out. That's why I didn't see anybody. Yeah, I was sick.
Yeah, you was on the sick and shut-in list.
Oh yeah, I was. Ain't nobody sent me no cards, but it was cool.
I sent you a card before the sickness.
You sure did.
Okay. I did that shit.
You sure did. You did that shit. And so you was down, you had a birthday dinner, and I was homesick.
Yes, you were. And let me say, we missed you at the birthday dinner because all throughout the birthday dinner, all I kept hearing was, "Where's Bibbi? Where's Bibbi? Where's Bibbi?" And I'm like, "I'm here. Thanks."
It's my birthday,
but,
right?
Right. No, my mom did give me the surprise birthday dinner, and I must say that I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, it was so nice. Everybody came out and celebrated me for my birthday, and I was just really touched and really surprised about everybody that came out. It was so funny because you played me. You definitely played me. I'm like, yeah, I'm talking to Bibbi all week, and I'm like, yeah, I think my mom is giving me a surprise something because she keeps asking me for all these people's number. And you was like, your mom is giving you a surprise something. She didn't even call me and say nothing about it. And I was feeling really bad. Like, well, just call her and act like,
But, I mean, all right, I'm keeping it for real, 100. The first time you said something about it, your mom hadn't called me and said anything.
Okay.
And I really was like, well, what the hell? Like, is something going on? And I don't, like, is this something, like, exclusive? Like, what is going on? Even if it was exclusive, like, I come to that. So I was really like, what is going on? But then she called me the next day, and so then I had to keep it going. Like, she was like, just don't say nothing or whatever. But, I was in here ailing, and everybody was calling me. Your friends, our cousins was like, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? And I was like, I ain't going to make it. And they was like, oh, she ain't here yet. Where you at? Where you at? And I'm like, yeah, sorry.
And let me tell you, my mom needed you because she was pissed because people were supposed to, I don't know. She didn't say who, what, when, where, why. She was just like, if I had Bibbi here, this would have went smooth. If I had Bibbi there, that would have been smooth, or this, that, and the third. So, I mean, she needed you. You know how we do.
Oh,
but all in all, it turned out really nice, and I was pleasantly surprised, and, it really made me happy.
Yeah, that's nice. I mean, that was really nice. So I'm glad we was able to get together. Well, not we, as in me, but y'all was able to get together.
Well, you'll be at the next shindig.
I'll be at the next shindig. Yeah, I saw the pictures on Facebook. They look really nice. I mean, my life is in shambles. First Christmas dinner, now this. It's too much.
Yeah, damn, right.
It's too much.
You ain't even come to Christmas dinner. Well, you got a plate, and you was there in spirit, and at the next thing, it's all about you, boo.
It's all about me. Okay. I'm going to have to make it that way because this is not looking good.
Right.
This is not looking good. So what are we going to talk about this week?
So this week we're going to talk about consumer affairs. Does how you spend your money really matter?
Well, hell yeah, it's my money. It matters to me.
Right. Well, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into that topic this week.
Okay, yes, because where I spend my money matters. All right, well, it's Black History Month. It's Black History Month. Let's have some Who Did Some Shit Black History Edition.
Yeah, so, on the podcast for the month of February, we definitely celebrate Black History Month over here. And it's been a long-standing tradition of mine specifically to post Black history facts every day, just little tidbits of information and I try to go for things that people don't know. So I try to go for facts that people it's not like Booker T. Washington or Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, who is my fave. I do post about those people as well, but I try to, dig deep and find some little-known Black history facts. And a lot of time I get my information from blackamericaweb.com. And so, again, we want to shine a light on little-known Black history facts here over at We Did That Shit podcast. So today we're going to talk about Dr. Ruth K. Flowers. And, again, this information comes from blackamericaweb.com. And I'm just going to read some information about her, and hopefully you all can go and dive in and get a little bit more information if you're interested. So, again, today's Black history fact is about Dr. Ruth K. Flowers. She was one of the first African-American women to graduate from the University of Colorado. CU's first Black female graduate was Lucille Berkeley Buchanan, a fact revealed in the early 90s. Ruth Cave, who was born in 1902 and raised until the age of 15 in Colorado Springs, followed in Buchanan's footsteps, ultimately enjoying a celebrated career in education. After losing her mother at 11, Cave was raised by her grandmother and eventually relocated to Boulder. Despite graduating from Boulder High School, Cave was refused her degree because of her race. Upon entering CU, Cave faced more bigotry, including being denied food service, but the president, an opponent of the local KKK, supported her and found her a job. While the West was thought to be a land of opportunity, Cave found her race and gender didn't open doors despite her degree from CU. She traveled south to teach French and Latin at Kathman College in South Carolina, then returned to CU, earning a master's in French and education. A move to Washington, D.C. to teach at Dunbar High School helped her while she attended the Robert H. Terrell Law School in the city. Cave met fellow law student Harold Flowers, and the pair wed, opening a practice together. But when their marriage ended in divorce, Cave and her son moved back to Boulder after she earned her Ph.D. from the Catholic University of America in 1951. Cave taught foreign languages at Fairview High School, becoming the first Black teacher in the Boulder Valley School District. Some 5 decades later, Boulder High awarded her diploma, and Cave settled into retirement while still providing education to the city's youth. Cave passed in 1980. And so that was just a little bit of information about Dr. Ruth Cave Flowers. She did that shit.
She did that shit. Wow, that was interesting. Black people in Colorado, huh?
So let's get into this topic this week, consumer affairs. Does how you spend your money really matter? So I think that we'll both agree on this. You say?
Absolutely, it matters. I think we'll agree, but to some extent, because I am. Let me ask you a question, Maya. And I mean, this is not staged. This is not staged.
Okay.
I'm just going to ask you, and you just say whatever comes to your mind.
Okay.
Who is the most forgiving person you know?
A Black woman, and you.
Okay. So you hear that, America?
You have to be the most forgiving person I know.
I mean, because I really do feel like I am a very forgiving person.
No, you are a very forgiving person. a hell of a lot more forgiving than me. And that's a topic for another time.
But no, I'm just saying that to say
Okay.
I very easily forgive people. Like,
Mhm.
even sometimes sometimes I feel like I shouldn't. I just do anyway because I just don't have that kind of, space in my life to hold grudges or whatever, However, when it comes to businesses and being a consumer, I am the most non-forgiving person ever. Like,
Okay.
I don't care. There is nothing. Once I am done with your company, your product, your whatever, I am done. Like, forever. Like, you will never get another dime of my money ever. Ever. And I feel like if there were more people like me, that we would be a lot better off, because people just aren't willing to put their money where their mouth is. They just allow people to do stuff to them all the time. But when it comes to businesses, I am the most unforgiving person. I hate ExxonMobil. Before I even had a driver's license, I knew that I would never buy gas there.
Okay.
Because of the Exxon Valdez in 1989, and all that they did, spill all that oil with that drunk ship's captain or whatever, killed the wildlife, everything, and then they act like it was a pain for them to clean it up and all of that kind of stuff. And then Mobil Oil, who employed a lot of black people, especially in South Jersey, merged with Exxon, and then they adopted all Exxon's policies and, kind of pissed on the black people. So a lot of them were like forced into retirement and stuff like that, and it wasn't the same. And that happened, that happened before I even got a driver's license. However, I knew that when I was driving, I was never buying their gas, ever, and I haven't, ever. Even when Mobil Oil credit cards was like they was giving them out like hotcakes. No.
But of course
I don't want no dealings with you. No. Power 99 FM. Hate them. Will not listen to them.
Power 99?
Don't turn them on in my car. Don't turn them on in my house. I can't stand Power 99. I think the FCC should shut them down. I hate them.
Well, what happened with Power 99?
Power 99
this is the first
FM.
time that I'm hearing this.
I never told you about Power 99.
No, you never told me about Power 99. I mean,
oh my God,
we talked about the ExxonMobil thing, not in great detail, but I've never heard the story of Power 99.
Okay, Power 99 FM. So let's see. It's February 2018. So Jessica will be 28. So Jessica was about how old was Jess? Jessica was like 8. So that means Jessica was 8, Deja was 6, Jiggy was 4. It was a Saturday morning, turning into afternoon. We left the house in the morning, went down to like the Pine Hill area, because I had to take something by Aunt Marty's house, whatever. Went down there. It was 12 noon, so Golden Girl came on at 12 noon on this particular Saturday. Now, the kids are in the car, and Tisha's kids always be into the latest, greatest, even when they at birth, you know what I mean? So Jessica was probably with the radio and everything. So we went out inside our Marty's house, whatever, came out. We're in the car. Now, all 3 kids are in the car, 4, 6, and 8, 12 noon on the Saturday. So the introduction comes on, like, the little music and everything, whatever, the little introduction.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's not what I heard.
Oh,
that's not, no, that's not what I heard at all. So what I heard was some, like, panting, like heavy, heavy panting. And I'm looking.
Like
yes. So I'm looking at the dial, and I see it says Power 98.9. That's what it said. So I was like, oh, all right, this sounds a little risque, but okay, because, I mean, what they going to say? It's 12 noon on a Saturday.
Right.
So I kept it on. The kids was listening. I don't care. The next, and they was like, it's time for Golden Girl, and the panting like continued, got like a little more intense, and then somebody starts going, and then the next thing I know, it's like a man's voice talking about where you want it, and then a woman's voice was like, in my face. I was like,
what? Let me tell you. I almost killed my dashboard slamming buttons to try. Like, what? Who does that? Like, on a Saturday afternoon at 12 noon. Like, I can't believe I never told you this. Like, I told everybody that day, like, oh, my gosh, I can't even, like, and I never, ever, ever listened to them again. And they were advertising somewhere, and this was a couple years ago, whatever. They had a table at some event downtown, and the guy was trying to say something to me. I looked at him like, I understand, like, he didn't know what it was or whatever. He might not even have been there or whatever, but it doesn't matter because, like, even right now, I'm so hyped because I just cannot believe that they did that on a Saturday afternoon at 12 noon. That's what they
must have got the stuff confused with the, 12 a.m. Part of the show, and they put it on the 12 p.m. I mean, even at 12 a.m., you never know who's listening to the radio. But the thing is that at 12 a.m., Don's Donut, you might not have, at least if you raising your kids a certain kind of way, you might not have your kids listening to their radio, or a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old, listening to, or a 5-year-old listening to the radio at 12 a.m. So that portion of the show had to be the portion that they put on at 12 a.m. as opposed to 12 p.m. because that's something.
Exactly. And I don't care if it was 12 a.m., 12 p.m., the mix-up, I couldn't tell you if they ever issued an apology because I never listened to them since, and I never will. And everybody knows that rides in my car, all my nieces and nephews, my sister, everybody, we don't listen to Power 99 ever.
Right, and I mean, that makes a lot of sense that I am glad that you are the kind of person that sticks to their guns. I definitely believe that in the Black community specifically, I can't talk about other communities because I'm Black. So I got to speak about the Black community. We don't really realize how much power we have as consumers. We are the people who spend the most money. We are we are not even that. What are we, 13% of the population or something like that?
Right,
but
and we're
85%. 85, 90% of the consumers. And so if we stick with our guns and stand up for something or fall for anything, as Malcolm so eloquently put it, then we would be better off because these brands continue to do these things because they can. Recently, it goes so far back with, the ad campaigns that they continue to put out. And you would think that in recent times, in the 21st century, that they wouldn't be putting out those type of ads. But we see that it continues to happen. Like the one that was crazy to me recently that happened, not even the H&M thing, because we'll get into that. But it was the Pepsi thing, right? So the Pepsi,
my gosh.
when they
with
had
the little white girl?
Jenner, so, they had her. She was out there. They're rioting. It's all of this racial tension. And here she comes walking through the crowd with a can of Pepsi. She gives one person a can of Pepsi. They open it and drink it, and then it's like peace on earth. And I was just thinking to myself, Pepsi, even Pepsi, like you are a global brand, not just any mom and pop shop. You are literally a global brand. What advertising agency did you outsource this to? Or who in your advertising department, since you are a global brand, approve this. Because the thing is this, even if you had no people of color in this boardroom, right, in any of these boardrooms, specifically with Pepsi, even if you had no person of color in this boardroom, it had to be one even white person that was like, you know what,
somebody,
nah, this ain't a good look. You know, like we get racism, all of that, but you didn't have one person. Now, to me, a person like me, the way that I think, yes, I think race revolves around everything, you know, any and everything. You know, on Boomerang, when Martin was like, you know why the pool table is flat, you know, because it's the earth and the balls, the white ball knocks the black ball. I'm kind of one of those I'm definitely kind of one of those people, you know, like I'm not screaming to the top of my lungs that the white man is holding me down. However, for the person that's screaming, the white man is holding me down, I understand what you're saying, you know. So, no, I mean, maybe it wasn't a white person in that boardroom that said anything, but, like, it had to be one person with some common sense that was like, nah, maybe. I don't think this is going to be good.
Right. I totally agree with that. And, well, you know, for as long as I can remember, I just knew that I was going to be in advertising. I mean, when I went to college, I studied communications, journalism, public relations, advertising. I just knew I was going to make commercials for the Super Bowl. Like, you just could not tell me I wasn't. I watched more commercials than I actually did TV growing up, like the TV shows. But the TV show, I would do whatever. But when the commercials came on, I would just watch commercials. I was always into advertising, propaganda, things like that. And it really does mean something to me. And I don't drink Pepsi, so it's not hard to cut Pepsi off my list. However, like my nieces and nephews know, when we out, don't be asking me for no Pepsi because we don't drink Pepsi. You know what I mean? Like, it's over with Pepsi. I hope you like Coke. Until Coke do something to get on my nerves, then we go into RC Cola. I don't know.
Right, exactly. Or we can go to no soda because none of it is good for you any damn way.
Any
Pepsi, like,
exactly.
Come on, it's nothing like a cold Pepsi with some crabs, you know, in the summertime, ice cold coming out of the freezer. You let me down, and not that I have so much faith in you, but it was the capitalization off of what is going on, the Black Lives Matter movement, all of us, you know, finally standing up and saying, hey, we ain't taking your bullshit, you know, in the 21st century, not for what our ancestors fought for, you know, when they fought and they stood up and say, no, we're not taking your mess. I'm talking about the people of today, young people coming together and saying, no, you're not just going to keep killing us in the street like dogs, and we're going to stand for it. And you have these people out here protesting and what they call, quote, unquote, rioting because we don't own those neighborhoods. So you're not rioting in your neighborhood because we don't own those neighborhoods. Ghettos was created for us. But, again, that's a topic for another show. But, you know, and then you have Pepsi coming in with this ad that is capitalizing off of people's pain. And then what kind of brand are you that you just was like, well, screw you, because all you gotta do is drink a Pepsi and all of this will just be over. Like, who came up with this? What was the thought process of this? What would even make you think to create this?
That's okay. Exactly.
Let's make
peace with Pepsi.
Right. Like, and then you shot it. It's a multi-million-dollar commercial. You have all of these people in here that are extras. I'm sure you paid this girl, Kendall Jenner, a grip of money to be in the ad because her pimping ass mother ain't gonna let her be in nothing that's not getting a certain amount of money, you know. Exactly. And then all of that to pull the ad. And that's the shit that really gets on my nerves, because all of that just to pull the ad. You were so about it when you made the ad. Keep the ad out there.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Right. If you really thought there was nothing wrong, then let it play. But I mean, even if you thought it was nothing wrong, and this is what I'm saying, like, it's people's job. ads don't just go from some person's head to copyright to the media. It just doesn't happen like that. There's, it's a group effort. There's all these little tedious steps. The color has to be just right. The font has to be just right. The message has to be just right. There's a lot of things, and it's just hard for me to believe that there's not one person, and I don't care if the person is of color or not. There's just not one person who is globally aware of things. You know what I mean? And just saying, Pepsi really doesn't affect me because I'm really not a soda drinker anyway. But I'm telling you one that crushed my life, but I just have to do it. The Dove. Oh my gosh, Dove. Dove, I can't even believe. Dove, what are you doing, Dove? What are you doing?
Many people of color that use Dove.
Not only that, Dove, I was so proud of them because they were at the forefront when they had some years ago when they had the campaign of the big curvy women, and they were all out in their bras and panties doing a little jig and dance like they don't have to be ashamed of their bodies and things like that. Dove, you was doing so well, Dove. Oh my gosh, look at you now, Dove.
Look at you now.
Yeah, you're in the gutter.
You're
in the gutter, Dove.
Commercial. You had a whole commercial of a black woman taking off her shirt, a black woman with a brown shirt, a brown woman with a brown shirt taking off her shirt. And when she took off her shirt, it was taking off the dirt, the black dirt of her skin color as well as her shirt, and exposing a white woman. Because black is dirty. Not pure. And that's it's dirty. It's soot. And then you have white who is pure and this
better. Exactly.
Come on.
And that's what I said. I was like, oh my God, is Dove calling me dirty? What is going on? And I just felt like, well, when it first happened, I was just like all over Twitter and everything. And I feel like, and I still feel, everybody on that campaign should be fired. Everybody. Yes. From the messenger, the delivery boy, everybody. Like, everybody should be fired. Unless there was one little person that said, and that person better be a peon, because if that person was really a part of the team, then it's their job to make sure that they drill it home like, no, we can't do this. Because, and then another thing is, I understand people be like, oh, you're so oversensitive.
Nothing is oversensitive about that. Nothing is oversensitive about that. And if we are oversensitive, the people who are consumers, if we're oversensitive, because it's not you saying, oh, you're oversensitive. No, you're saying black people are oversensitive. At the end of the day, is it outrage out here that is unwarranted? Yes, it is. But in a case like this, you specifically laid out that black people were dirty and white people were clean. When you had a black, because if it wasn't like that, then you would have had the white woman taking off a brown shirt, and then you would have her coming out, and it would be exposing a black woman. If that was the case, if you weren't thinking about race when you did this, if you weren't thinking about black as dirty and white as clean, then you would have had the tables reversed, and you would have had a white woman taking off a brown shirt, and then she was exposing a black woman with a white shirt on, because specifically that black woman took off not only the way that the commercial was, she not only took off her shirt, but in taking off her shirt, it took off her whole skin. So it cleaned her skin. It cleansed her. And then you expose this lily white woman. And if you weren't really thinking about race, and here's the thing, to me, these brands are doing this stuff on purpose. That's just where I'm at with it. Because yeah, that's the angle that I'm at with it. Because they think, you think they're doing it on purpose, like that's because that's really how they feel, or okay, even if they get mad, they'll get mad for a minute and then they'll buy our stuff again, or like, what do you mean? I think that they're doing it on purpose, like, oh, they'll get mad, it'll bring eyes to the brand, because any press is good press to somebody who's seeking press, and whether that is what is going on with, like, Dove, people are outraged, but it brought more eyes to the brand, as if eyes weren't already on the brand. I think that these companies are getting to this point where if you think about it like, okay, the people of color, black people specifically, wanting to take back what's ours, that's take back our rights, be treated as equals, equal pay, equal, whatever it is, all of this movement that is happening, this new movement, because we've seen that movement happen in the days of civil rights, right? When we were fighting for our rights. Now you see this movement happening where we're saying, okay, you gave us a little bit of something, but you ain't give us what we're worth. You know what I'm saying? And we still have so much fight to go. So you see black people coming together, and these movements are happening. And I think that these companies are capitalizing off of that, because even when they're putting out these ads, we keep seeing it, right? We've seen it with Pepsi, we've seen it with Dove, then we've seen it with the H&M thing. And they keep doing the same thing. They put the ad out, they spark the outrage, then they pull the ad, then they give some bullshit apology and say, oh, that's not what we thought that it was, this, that, and the third. But you don't never see in the news that those specific companies, Pepsi, Dove, it happened with Sony, I mean, the list goes on. You don't see that it came out and you say, oh, these brands are losing so much money. Like these stocks are plummeting. Nobody is shopping at these places. Oh, Dove is losing so much money because nobody is buying Dove anymore, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You don't hear that. You see the ad, you see the outrage, and then you see them pull it, and then you give the apology, and then it goes on like nothing ever happened. And here's the thing. We live in a microwave society where, we don't remember what we did yesterday. So you're not it's that's what they're banking on. It's like recycled information. It's like, oh, they ain't going to remember, and it's just going to keep going and going and going because the way that the times are now with social media and everything. But I'm just saying, that's why I feel like these brands are capitalizing off of this. It just feels that way to me. It just feels that way. Because it keeps happening.
Well, I mean, and not to say that it's not going to keep happening, and they may be capitalizing, but, I'm only one person, and I can only do what makes me feel better as a person. And what makes me feel better as a person is not to commercialize their products. Now, Dove, and I'm serious about Dove. And then somebody on my Facebook was like, oh, well, I don't use Dove. I use Caress. And I was like, yeah, well, Caress is made, the parent company is Unilever. And Unilever makes Caress, and it also makes Vaseline. And black people can't live without no Vaseline. I mean, come on now. We use Vaseline for everything. So, now, I didn't throw my Dove in the trash because I think that's crazy. I already bought that Dove. That Dove has already been added to Dove's bottom line or whatever, but I haven't bought any more Dove since that has come out. Now, I've been using Dove forever, but I'm not using it anymore. I am very, very adamant about that. Like one of when I went to Savannah, I like Savannah a lot, and they have that Civil Rights Museum in Savannah. It has a lot of history, a lot of black history in Savannah. And so I learned that Savannah was one of the places of the most successful consumer boycott for black people. Black people actually got together for 18 months, and they would not shop at any store downtown. And they literally recycle all their children's clothes. Like they would have a swap. Like, if your kid couldn't fit it anymore, you put it in the size, boy, girl, whatever. And for 18 months, they passed down hand-me-downs until people allowed them to walk in their store to the front door. And I'm saying that unless you do something, you have to do something in order to get something in return. People just are not going to pay you any mind. They don't care. They don't respect you. I mean, I'm going to be down to drinking water soon. I'm going to be slim for sure. Because, you know what I mean? I'm not, and you may be racist and I don't know about it and I'm using your stuff, but the minute I find out about it, it's a wrap for me. Yeah. It's a wrap. I can go
I
get some
agree.
material and I'll wear togas. I don't care. I don't need to wear anybody's brand that bad. I don't need, to eat anybody's food that bad. I don't need it. I don't need
Right.
it. And you won't be sitting there looking at me like, yeah, look at that black monkey eating my food. Nope.
Yes, like that takes me to the H&M thing with the monkey and the coolest monkey in the jungle. Now, let me say this. Anybody that knows me, that truly knows me, knows how I feel about monkeys, right? Monkeys, I don't buy monkeys for my black children. No, I don't have children, but the black children in my life, no, I don't buy monkeys for them. I won't buy a stuffed animal. I won't buy a pajama. I won't buy anything. I don't believe in black children with anything with monkeys. People say to me, oh, well, what about Curious George? What the hell about him? First of all, I don't remember Curious George when I was a kid. So it's not like Curious George is such a big part of my childhood that I'm like, damn, I can't even expose these kids to Curious George. I don't care. Now, monkeys in the zoo, when you go and see them and you want to go to the monkey display, sure, have at it. Let's go over there and see the monkeys. When we were kids at the Philadelphia Zoo, they used to have this gorilla named John. And I remember going to the zoo and going to go visit John. Like, let's go see John. He was cool. That's cool. But to have a monkey on a shirt or a monkey in as a stuffed animal or a doll, anything. And I teach the kids this very early because of my niece.
Because they
very
young.
Young.
That's right.
As soon as they can comprehend, I let them know, no, we won't be having no monkeys. And it's gotten to the point where, like, my niece, go ahead.
Even when they can't comprehend, because, Bree, when she used to like little stuffed animals all the time, she was like 2 pointing to a monkey. You was like, no.
Yeah, because I do it to Aubrey now. Her favorite stuffed animal is this big rainbow monkey. And I think she knows that I'm always like, no monkey. She's 2, because whenever I come on that FaceTime screen, the first thing she does is go and grab that monkey, like, look, Amaya, look. And I'm like, put that monkey down, And when she gets a little bit older, I'll let her know why. We were referred to as black people as monkeys. So I don't believe in putting black children in monkey anything, because you won't be calling now you might call them little monkeys anyway, but you won't see them in a monkey nothing walking around, so you could be like, look at these black ass little monkeys. So when the thing happened with H&M, I feel like I was more outraged about that and I was outraged to the max about the Dove thing, because it was just like, oh, dirty and pure, huh? Okay, dirty and clean. Look at us. But with the monkey thing, it was just a level of rage that I hadn't felt in a long time.
Well, I was enraged because of not just the monkey sweatshirt on the little black boy, but then the little white boy next to him had jungle survival expert on the sweatshirt. And he was, and the way that the ad was placed, the little white boy was like looking at the little black boy. Like,
the monkey,
and so it was just the whole
tiger or the lion,
thing.
Whatever he was.
Right. It was just like the whole thing. I was like, I'll burn H&M down at the mall. Like, what? But I didn't burn H&M down at the mall. If somebody did, that wasn't me. But I'm just saying, like, I can't. That really caused a rage in me. Like, it's 2018 and you just what? Yeah. So needless to say, I will never, and I don't think I've ever bought anything from H&M. I may have gotten a shirt or something, but I don't have to worry about that now, because I will never. They can have 99% off, and I wouldn't go in there.
And I have a lot of things. I have a lot of things from H&M. I shop at H&M a lot, and when I saw that, I was having a conversation with a friend, and she was like, "Well, I didn't think that anything was
I didn't think anything of it. It would just be like if I was walking in another store and, my nephew was small and I saw, the coolest monkey in the jungle, and I was like, oh, that's a cute little sweatshirt. I'm going to buy that for him. I wouldn't think nothing of it. And I'm like, I pointed out the fact exactly what you said. It wasn't even the point of the monkey shirt that the little black boy had. It was the point of the little white boy next to him with a tiger or a lion? Which one is the king of the jungle?
He had a tiger. He had a tiger on his shirt. So it wasn't the king of the jungle. He had a tiger, and it said jungle survival expert.
Right. Like I'm an expert of the jungle.
Right.
But you a little monkey of the jungle.
Right.
You could be the coolest monkey in the jungle. Mm-hmm. And again, it goes down to, go ahead.
No, because coolest monkey, what you saying? And we just chilling being cool in the jungle ain't doing nothing? But you know what I mean? It just, the whole thing's just like, ugh.
And it just goes down to the thing of this. Again, you have people in these boardrooms. You have to know that a monkey is associated with black people in the sense of a derogatory way. You have to know that because in the days of slavery, in the days of civil rights, they called us little black monkeys, porch monkeys, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't know that? Like, it's not, and here's the thing, even if you don't know that because you're not paying attention to that, because you don't live in that world, it's like rich people who don't pay attention to poor people's problems. Should they? Yeah, they should. But do they? No, they don't.
No, they don't.
So far removed from that, right? You might be, you're not even far removed from it. You don't know anything about the racism that we experience. You don't know anything about the problems that we go through just because we have black skin. You know nothing about that. So, but do your research. You know what I'm saying? Do your research. Why would you not do your research to know these things? You can't say, even if you say, well, I didn't know that monkey was, like, I wouldn't even thought of monkey being associated with, do your research. And then you will see that it is. And what made me mad in that story more than the company doing it, it was the parents who let their kids do that. Me and you had a conversation, and he was like, well, go ahead.
Well, even more than because I was like, well, maybe the parents didn't see it, maybe the parents didn't know, and you was like, well, that's your kid, you should know, whatever. So even in that, but when people started to be upset about it, the parents was like, what's the big deal? That's when I got mad at the parents. Like, what?
Right. Because the way that I felt in the beginning, is this: you are a parent. Your job is to protect your children at all costs. No matter what, your job is to protect your child. Now, you let your child pose in this monkey shirt to begin with, right? You can't even say, well, I didn't know what they was going to put on them, because that makes it more problematic. You didn't know what they was going to put on your kid. You didn't get final. Right. This is a child, not an adult. Mm-hmm. This is a child. So you should have got the last look. It's no way in the world that a child of mine or a child that is associated with me in any kind of way, niece, nephew, cousin, godchild, anything, I'm going to take to this company, say, hey, you can use my child in this ad. My child is a child model. Let them put something on the child, and then at the end, even if they was in the back of a green screen and they had on a white shirt, right? And then at the end, you had this big ass monkey in the back of them, and I ain't going to see that? No, I'm going to see exactly what you're putting out because it's a child. You could be putting my child in lingerie for all I know if I don't have last look at what you really going to put out there. So that's what pissed me off. And then for the parents to say, oh, well, we don't see it as a problem. We live in, where was they living, in Britain or something like that? Right. And they were like, we're British and we don't have that over here. That's a goddamn lie. It's racism all over the world. We had traveled all over the world. It's racism all over the world. And the British took over damn near every damn thing. And people of color, you can't tell me that it's not racism in Britain or wherever you live. That's bullshit.
Exactly. There is race, but you know what I've seen though? Black Americans fight for racism and equality, and we include all people of color.
Yes,
but
we do.
other people of color living in other countries don't give a shit about us
At all.
at all.
At
They
all.
don't. They just don't care. They're
Not
like, oh
even
well,
other
that's
people
on
in
them.
but not even other people of color in other countries, people of other colors in this country. When black people fight, we have to be inclusive of everybody. We got to be inclusive of women's rights. We got to be inclusive of gay rights. We got to be inclusive of Latino rights. We got to be inclusive of whoever minority rights. We can't just be about
any
black
person
people.
of color.
But when you see other people, they stick with themselves. When they fight in the fight for Latin people, they fight for Latin people. They don't include us in that. And when they fighting for rights of Asian people fight for themselves. They don't fight for us. You know, you are a minority. They're some of the most racist people, you know, even though you are a minority. You know what I'm saying? All minorities should stick together. All people of color should stick together, but we don't. And that pisses me off about black people that, like, we always got to be inclusive of other people. I am not a person who feels like we should be inclusive of other people. We have to, Malcolm X said in his book, when he, a young, and it was in the movie too, but specifically in his book, it was a young white student that came to him and wanted to join the movement, you know, and he didn't tell her, no, you can't join the movement. He said, you could do what I'm paraphrasing this. He said, you could do what you can do from over there, but we got to do what we got to do right here. We have to make ourselves stronger before we include other people. We have to learn to stick with ourselves before we can include other people. We were taught to divide and conquer. We were taught the crabs in the barrel syndrome. Everything flows right on down from slavery, just flows on down like a river. And we don't even realize what we are experiencing today is right on down from there. I mean, people think it's like, oh, slavery happened so long ago. No, it didn't happen so long ago. Because if it did happen so long ago, then we wouldn't have people like H&M. We wouldn't have people like Dove. We wouldn't have people like Sony. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Exxon. We wouldn't have all these people, you know, doing these things if it didn't flow on down. When we were called porch monkeys and all that kind of stuff, that was back in slavery time, right? But getting still, H&M is still calling us porch monkeys. And again, if it wasn't that way, why didn't you put the white child in the coolest monkey shirt and put the black child in the survival of the jungle, you know, whatever it said.
Exactly. And I just feel like I feel like everybody has a responsibility. And I know a lot of people don't feel the way we do. Some people say, oh, it's not that deep. Some people say, well, you know, I try to support black business, but you can never depend on them, or their prices is always so much higher. But if there's something that you really believe in, if there's something that you really believe in, you have to, you know, you cannot get something for nothing. You can't evoke change by just doing nothing. You know, this is why I vote at every election, because somebody died for my right to vote. You know what I mean? Things have to change. It literally died for my right to vote. So you cannot expect anything to change if you don't do anything.
Right.
You have to do something. So, and that's why I'm not forgiving with it. I'm not like, okay, say, you say you sorry, give me $3 in my community, because that's not really doing anything. You know, they think that they're doing stuff, but they're not. You know, no, I'm done with you. Like, you know, no thank you. And if I have to learn to make my own soap because everybody else is doing this and wear togas, then so be it.
Right.
But when I find out that someone is blatantly disrespecting me, somebody with money and somebody with, even if they're ignorant, they have means to get educated and they're going to blatantly disrespect me anyway, I'm done with that. Yeah, I'm done with that. And don't
Right.
come with your you could give me a gift set on top of a gift set on top of a gift set, and I'm like, nah.
And stop with and here's the thing. I feel like this with people who are out here doing this racist bullshit too, with these ads and all this other kind of stuff. Stop apologizing for it. Stick with it. I feel like they
Right.
too. Stand for something or fall for anything for you too. If that's how you feel, because that's the ad that you put out and that's clearly how you feel, then stand by that. You know what I'm saying? Stand by that. Put it out there and be like, yeah, this is what it is. And what? Because you're still going to have people who, no matter what you do, you can stand on the top of a mountain and scream it down. Screw all you people. You're nothing. You're bottom of the barrel trash. And somebody is still going to support you. You know what I'm saying? They still going to buy your product. They still going to do all of those things. So here's the thing. Stand by that. Stop putting all of these $1 million into these ads and then pulling them because you get this backlash.
Or apologizing when you don't mean it.
Right, because you put out these fake standard apologies that all of you are using across the board. The only thing that you change is the name, and the apology is the same. We in no way intended to. Yes, you did. You intended to do exactly what you did. And people say, we need to get into these boardrooms and stuff like that. Yes, we do. If we're given a chance. And another thing about that is that people that do get into these situations and they do get their foot in the door and they get into those boardrooms, stand up for what you believe in. Don't let people just do anything, because here's the thing. I hate that whole, I ain't trying to I'm not trying to lose my position. It's just like, it's the same goes for like corporate America. You know what I'm saying? You have these people and these black people in positions. You won't pull your brother up. You won't pull your fellow man up. Not if they're not qualified. I'm not saying just give somebody a job because they black. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying give somebody a promotion because they black. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that if you see somebody that's qualified and you see and they're black, yes, you pull them first. But you don't want to do that because you don't want to get nobody more than what you got, and you don't want to give nobody, you don't want to get the wrong impression. Oh, I'm only hiring black people. Yes, I am, because white people only hire them. How many people are in positions because they're white, not because they're qualified, not because they're educated. All of those people in that room, in these rooms for these brands, prove that. You know what I'm saying? They prove that they're idiots. They prove that idiots are out here winning in life. But the black people who do get into these rooms, stand up and say, no, listen, I don't want to lose my job either. I have to pay my bills. I have to eat every day. I have to support my family. I have to do all of those things. But stand for something. Stand on something. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to look at who's coming behind you. You know what I'm saying? You do. Right. You have to look at who's coming behind you and what kind of legacy are you leaving for people. And here's the thing. Our ancestors left a legacy for us that is vast and wonderful. People that died, like you said, for us to vote, people that died for us to be considered human beings, people that died for us to have seats on the front of the bus, people that died for us to just have regular rights, just run-of-the-mill rights, like, sitting
human
at a counter in a damn restaurant. Human rights.
And we weren't even, and the only reason why we were, first of all, we were 5/8 of a citizen. And the only reason that we were 5/8 of a citizen is because for politics. So they say, we have more people, so we get more representation. So we're not even going to count them as whole people, but we're going to count them as something just so that we can get more representation. So, yes, we mean absolutely, positively nothing to them. And that's why I do not have a problem not spending my dimes, not 10 red cent, nothing for their businesses. And I don't feel no kind of bad about it, and I'm certainly not going to apologize for it.
No, and nor should you. And I it's my hope that in the, tomorrow, not even in the future, the future being tomorrow, that more people
adopt that, and that more people get out there and say, hey, because again, I started this off with we don't even know how powerful we are as consumers. We are so powerful as a people, not just as consumers, but as people, specifically as consumers because of this topic. But if we say, nah, it ain't happening, nah, it's not happening. Like, it's not happening. We just have to say, no, we're not going to do that. Every black person stopped going to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Or every even person of color stopped going to Walmart. Every person of color stopped using Dove. Every black person stopped supporting Unilever, whatever the case is. What do you think that their bottom line is going to look like? Are they going to go bankrupt?
Exactly.
Hell no. But are they going to feel it? Hell yes.
Yes, they will. Exactly. That is true. And speaking of Walmart, they're tap dancing on my patients as well because they just don't treat people nice. And I'm just waiting for them to do one more. Like, oh my gosh, and I'm really slowing down. I don't go there hardly ever, and especially now that I work across the street from a Target. And yes, Target is a little more expensive or whatever, but everything can't be, the dollar and the money that I spend to drive out the way to go to Walmart anyway. But Walmart is they're tiptoeing on my patients too. They got one more thing to come out, and it hasn't even been like anything big, but like the employees are so unhappy, and then they treat people like common criminals and following people around and checking receipts, and they talk about come to America, you can work here, but they got the people from all like Burma and all that working overnight stocking shelves, and that's it. Like, Walmart, you're shady. They're skating on thin ice because Walmart is next on my hit list. They really are. And once I'm done, I'm done. I can't.
I agree.
Once
we
done,
have to be.
That's it.
We have to be. Even
to.
if we have to. We just 100% have to, because it really is. Now is the time. It's 2018. Look at how far we have come, and look how far we have to go. And that says a lot. Like, we have come so far, but we have went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And we have so far to go. It's like, they want to give us one little thing and then be like, oh, you should be happy with that. But then you want to continue to, and that's the thing. You want to continue to capitalize off our dollar, capitalize off us, like all of these brands capitalizing off of us. It's not cool when we do it, but you're taking everything from us.
Right.
You're taking everything from us. And that's what we just have to learn to be smart consumers, and really research these brands and really just stand for something in our lives, You
do. You're one person, but you're one person, but one person has power over their dollar. I mean, if nothing else, you have power over your dollar. That's just it. You have power over your dollar. We might not have a lot of power. One person, surely the more people, the more power. But if it's just one person, hey, this is my dollar, and I'm going to spend it, where I see fit.
Exactly.
So, I don't know. So I know everybody doesn't feel the way we feel. Some people say, oh, well, this is too expensive, or that's too hard, or I'm going to do this. People just feel like it ain't that deep, and, so what? And as long as we continue to have people to feel that way, people are always going to treat us, the
way that they continuously do.
Exactly. If we treat ourselves like second-class citizens, how do we expect other people not to treat us that way? But, to each their own. I'm not, I'm not judging anybody. But as for me, and we're talking about being a conscious consumer, where your money is spent, yes, it matters. It matters how I spend my money, where I spend my money. It absolutely matters.
Yes, and I agree. It matters how I spend my money and with who I spend my money with. And it goes to your point of when you don't do things and we don't know, then that's one thing. But once you find out,
then that's something totally different. So again, we don't judge anybody who is, doesn't believe or is not as passionate as how we are. But we just wanted to put it out there that consumers affairs doesn't matter how you spend your money. Yes.
Yes,
it
does matter. Yeah.
Right. So do you want to get into your personal journals for this week?
Okay. How about, okay, yeah, let's go. I was going to say you go
What?
first.
How about
I can go first.
Well, I'll go first if you want.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So my personal journal for this week is not anything specific. Well, it is kind of specific, but it's not, laid out as much as, well, let me not say that. My personal journal for this week is that I want to just learn I want to learn to practice what I preach. Let me say that.
Okay.
I preach a lot of things as far as race is concerned. I don't really try to preach too much of, oh, no, this is right, no, this is wrong. I don't really try to do that because, hey, you're going to do what you want to do, and I'm going to do what I want to do, and that's just the bottom line. But as far as, because it's Black History Month, and when Black History Month comes around, it's like my favorite time of the year. And other than Christmas and, stuff like that. But Black History Month is definitely, my favorite time of the year. And I preach a lot about us as Black people, coming together, sticking together, being together, and really honing in on our power. Because Black people, we are so powerful, and we don't even know it. And I really want us to get back into the times when we just relished in our beauty, in who we are as a people. I feel like we are like we were of yesteryears. Yesteryears, when our ancestors were fighting for our rights, I felt like they really came together. They believed in the Black family. They believed in the Black man. They believed in the Black woman. And I just don't feel like we are there, and I want us to get back to that point. And I want what I say out of my mouth to be a reflection of who I am, as a Black person, and how I treat other Black people, and how, powerful I know that we are. So I really just want to practice what I preach in this month of Black history, just coming together, realizing our power, being in the spirit of Blackness, celebrating it all the time, not letting anybody get away with anything as far as we are concerned, so that's what my personal journal is for this week, and just for my life, but specifically, that we're talking about it, that's what I want to do. I want to practice what I preach when it comes down to Black people. I don't want to just talk about it. I want to be about it. I don't want to just talk about it. I want to live it every day, and I feel like I do, but I feel like I have so much more to do. It's almost like how in Christianity, it's like bring people to, tell the good news of the Lord. I want to tell the good news of who we are as a people. I feel like I could do so much more, and I just want to get into an activism role, and just more into, like I said, just showing people more than I'm telling them. You know what I'm saying? Just living my life in all things Black. Because, again, I'm not anti-anything, but I'm just pro-Black. And so that's my personal journal for this week.
Mm-hmm. That was good, Maya.
Thanks.
So my personal journal, I'm working my way through my vision board. And let me just say that the things that I've spoken on before that are on my vision board, even though I kind of add something every week, that's on the board, those things that I've already talked about, I still rehearse those things. And I still feel those things being strengthened, especially the eyes wide open, God in my head, get lifted. Because this week I experienced something called mindfulness. And it is it's like a new meditation technique or whatever. We did it at work for some retreat thingy. But mindfulness really speaks to just stop what you're doing and be in the moment. And then you have to really talk yourself through being in the moment. Like you're sitting in the chair, focus on what the chair feels like underneath you. I mean, like literally being in the moment. It was really, it was quite enriching. So those things are being rehearsed. I talked about how I'm taking the entire family off and committing that to prayer, and it's going to be happy and healthy, and how that has allowed me to release the pounds. I talked about nurse providing care for life. And so the next thing on my vision board that I feel is really festering in my head now, it says dare to take the leap. And, you know, I have a lot of ideas, like all the time. My mind races all the time. I have a lot of ideas. That's why I work well, I think, in program management, because if you have an idea, you know, I come in, that's why I love consulting. I come in, I take your idea, I bring it to fruition, make it its own animal, and then I'm on to the next project. That way, you know, I'm not super vested, I'm being paid good money. You know, I look at it like, oh, wow, that's good. And I'm on to the next thing, because I'm not one of those people. I will never get, you know, like my 20-year anniversary watch or whatever from any job ever. I'm just not that person.
Right.
So lately I've been wanting to just like quit my job. And I mean, when I say quit my job, just literally go to work. If I'm at work, just be like, you know what? And there's nothing personal in my desk. There's nothing personal on my desk. There's nothing personal in the wall, on wall, or anything like that. Just, you know what? Just picking up my keys and leaving and just never coming back.
Right, and when the people be like, where are you going? You're like,
no, right, just never coming back. Like, you know, exactly. So, and I have, and so, but I'm really proud of myself, because the old Bibbi would have done that. You know, just like, you know what, I'll figure it out later. Exactly. It's like, I'll figure it out later. I don't even care, whatever. But the new, more mature Bibbi is like, you know, I feel like there's something for me to learn here, to learn patience or something. Clearly there's something. And trust me, you know, I'm praying about it every day, because I just want to learn so I can get out. But I am preparing myself to take the leap. And it's like, I don't want to do it in a way, and I was like, I don't want to be fearful, because the old Bibbi would have been like, yeah, I'm out. You know what I mean? And my favorite line all the time, everybody knows, you know, wherever I am, I'm like, look, I ate before I got here, and I'm going to eat when I leave. I traveled before I got here. I'm going to travel when I leave. You know, I had a house before I got here. I'm going to have a house when I leave. Like, you ain't doing nothing, you know, enriching my life. A job is a job is a job. It's like a bus. The next one to come, you know. So, but I think this leap is a little more strategic. I really feel like I'm being prepared for something. So I'm going to lay low, but that's what's in my head right now. That's where my journal is focusing me on right now. Like, I'm daring to take the leap. I'm taking these online classes. You know, I hate online classes. I've never been successful at online classes, and now I'm taking 3.
Well, you're going to be successful now.
And I feel successful. I feel like, you know, it's still causing me a lot of anxiety, because I just feel like they have too much access to me or something. But I just feel like I'm going to be successful. And I was like, oh, man, I'm going to have 3 of them, whatever. And I was telling somebody at work, and she was like, yeah, well, you know, it's already February. You didn't got the first month out of the way. I was like, oh.
Right.
You know, I did. You know,
right.
So
I never thought of it like that.
Exactly. So, and that's just where I am. You know, I'm really getting ready to take this leap. Whatever it is, you know, I'm getting excited about it. I'm doing things that I have not been comfortable doing before, but I'm getting them done because it's preparing me for my next step. And I'm really excited about that. Yeah, so that's
I'm excited for you because I feel like whatever you're about to do is about to be big. And listen, I'm glad I know you.
That's right. When I blow up, you blow up. That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. You know how I always say I need people around me that I can borrow money from. Like, you know, I'm always one of them kind of people like, do good in your life, girl. Because I need people, I need people around me that I could be like, look, I'm a little short this week. You think you got a couple dollars? You know, I can't have no poop-ups around me. Then you ain't gonna be that person that I could be like, yo, you got a couple dollars? You know, so
no, you be like, I'll be the last person you call, be like, no, because if I call her, she gonna ask for a couple dollars. Right. So no.
Right. So good for you. I'm very happy for you. So look, to wrap up this week's episode, I think that it just is imperative that we as consumers, like we said, know when, where, how we are spending our money.
Yes, and please comment. Let us know. Like, do you feel that way? Do you feel like you're going to shop there regardless? I mean, what are you feeling about that? I mean, you don't have to be as adamant as I am because, you know, I'm serious about it. I'm not doing it. But, you know, let us know how you feel.
Right. Let us know how you're feeling about the show. Let us know if you, like you said, what kind of consumer are you? And, you know, don't forget to subscribe to the show. Rate, like, comment on the show. We could be found on all social media platforms at We Did That Shit. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We Did That Shit, one word. I could be found on Twitter at MyMy13. That's MYMY13.
And I'm at Bibbi Amina. That's BIBBIAMINA.
And send all of your emails to us if you have anything that you want us to talk about again in the show. If you're liking the show, if you're not liking the show, any suggestions you have for the show, send it all to wedidthatshit@gmail.com. That's wedidthatshit@gmail.com. And we'll be here again next week.
So remember, be great this week. Do that shit.
We Did That Shit podcast is produced and edited by Selena Singleton and brought to you by Wonderful Me Media. Wonderful Me Media. What's wonderful about you?